Haven't Seen It with Tim Sestito and Tommy Tebony. Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. Thank you all so much for listening today. This is a podcast where one of us is watching a movie for the very first time, and today that is myself and our very special guest, Martin, joining us from the Film vs. Film podcast once again. The Film vs. Film podcast is a podcast where they pick a favorite film topic, like a director, actor, genre, any subject related to film. Martin, the host, and the guest pick a film and discuss that topic with 3 different aspects: directing, screenplay, and acting, and then rank each aspect out of 10. Martin, welcome back to the show. It's been a minute, but we're very glad to have you back on here for joining us for LA month, to live and die in LA. Little Billy Friedkin here to get your summer started.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me on again. Yeah, I really love this film. I'm really excited to talk about it. Yeah. It's great to be back.
Yeah, and
talking freaking.
Last time we had you on was for another freaking movie, The Exorcist, a couple years back. And so, yeah, we have our freaking person right here, our freaking expert. So, what a movie too!
It's a crazy one. I like that our podcast has just been what is this our 4th or 5th Friedkin? This is our 4th Friedkin, right?
Because we did Sorcerer, and I need to rewatch Sorcerer because I did not process that movie, even recording. I remember you were talking about it, and I was like, I don't remember shit about what I watched like 2 hours ago. It's one of those cases where it's just like,
wow,
yeah.
Like Sorcerer is like so anxiety inducing. It's insane. Weirdly, I have like Sorcerer on DVD. I have it on the 40th anniversary Blu-ray and the Steelbook, I think. 4K.
Yeah.
And I forgot I had those.
You don't even like the movie that much.
I was like, I have to get the Steelbook, and I forgot I had like the Blu-ray. I was like,
it's one of those things. We've been doing this podcast for like 4 years now, or 5 years, and there's some movies where like I know we covered them, and I know that I've watched them, but I couldn't tell you and Sorcerer, unfortunately, is one of those where like I know they drove over the bridge and it was really sweaty, and that's all I can tell you about Sorcerer. Nothing else.
It's funny. I was watching this movie. I was actually it brought back memories of Sorcerer that, like, for a movie that didn't fully that I enjoyed while I watched it, but didn't fully stay with me because what has that been? 2 years at least, Tommy, since we covered Sorcerer,
something like that. Yeah.
Like, I think more of, especially of the Friedkin, I think far more of The Exorcist, and I think far more of, like, The French Connection. Like, those just seem to have resonated with me more. This feels like, what if they made The French Connection, but it was just a whole bunch of cocaine was involved in the process of making
and just set in LA.
And some dick. Which, speaking of, we are going to jump into our new segment here called Half-Star Letterboxd Reviews here. This is a segment where the movie we're covering, To Live and Die in LA. We go through some half-star letterbox reviews. Now, La La Land, there were a lot more half-star letterboxd reviews than this one, probably because the amount of people that have seen it and logged it versus there's only 128 total half-star ratings on Letterboxd. So
yeah,
I have 3 here. This one is from a user named Silver AM. William Peterson's penis had more stage presence than he does. Or William Peterson, more like William Hung. Or is it just me, or would anyone else rather have seen Defoe's monster penis? Peterson's acting is way too over the top. I'm getting real Tommy Wiseau vibes from this performance. This movie is just confusing AF. What happened to the fact that Peterson is a Secret Service agent guarding the president? Now he's robbing a guy for money and it's a setup? WTH? And this car chase scene is just freaking embarrassing. I can't believe this garbage.
Wow.
Horrifically bad. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
The only point I agree with is we could have had Defoe's penis in there too. I mean, like, just make it 5 stars. Right
well, I had always heard the myth of there's like the Defoe myth of I don't know which movie it was on, but he goes full frontal.
Oh, Antichrist. Antichrist.
okay.
His prosthetic penis. because his penis was too big and too distracting. I'd give him a smaller prosthetic.
But I didn't know what movie it was.
Whoa, you're gonna scare away the Antichrist, dude. We need a smaller one for you.
But I didn't know what movie it was going to be, so I was like, maybe because like we get Friedkin butt, or we get Defoe butt multiple times in this movie. So I thought like
it's
maybe
very
this movie we might get Defoe Dom, but we'd get no Defoe Dom.
It is quite kind of homoerotic at times, this film, for sure,
yeah.
between Michael Peterson and Willem Dafoe. You know, they kind of have that joke where they say, "Oh, you're beautiful," you know, even though they're kind of happy with the deal or whatever. But there's definitely some like, okay.
There's definitely
What's
that scene
going
also where you meet Willem Dafoe's like girlfriend, and the way they switch it out and the way they block it is that originally it was a male actor walking up to Defoe, and then at the last second, right when he goes in for the kiss, they switch it to us the female actor instead, just to confuse
I was
you.
so like, is this a? I thought this was a man at first, and then it was a. I was like, oh, okay, this is
totally the
very
same.
interesting.
I rewound that bit, and I was like, hang on. That guy, it's definitely a bloke from the, behind the shoulder shot, surely. So they, but I swear it was, but they definitely kind of do a great job, I think, just disguising it maybe with kind of the wig thing, where she takes the wig off. But yeah, I was convinced that guy was a bloke from the overhead shot. Over the shoulder. Yeah.
Well, Sean, a patron, left a 5-star review that just simply said, "Lost me at the Israeli propaganda 5 minutes into the film." Now, I only include this one because half of them were just talking about, like, half the 5-star reviews were much longer-winded versions of one line of dialogue from the movie, where I was just like, I just don't.
You're
think
not gonna read an essay.
I read some of the essays. I'm like, I can't read this on the podcast. Like, this is just, like, too much and just too political. But I felt like this summed up a lot of the 5-star reviewers' feelings there, and I felt like it needed to be touched on. None of the three of us talk about movies. Okay, we're not qualified to be discussing any political spectrum here, but just so you know, it was there. And then finally, a 5-star review from Peckledon said, "Not finishing this, but wow. Counterfeiting money looks like so much fun." And I was just like, wow, that's a crazy 5-star review of a thing you didn't finish. How do you know if you liked it? You didn't finish it.
Yeah, you gotta finish it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I will touch upon the counterfeit bills that apparently, like, William Peterson made the money so good, they had an expert come on to show him how to do, like, counterfeit bills, to the point that, like, after the film came out, like, the crew decided to try to destroy the majority of them, and yet somehow it's still gone into circulation. So, like, years later, like, the Treasury Seal would, like, find it, like, at so many other places. William Peterson said that he used some of the bills to get his shoes signed and stuff like that, just to go. And he's like, I took these toys, I printed them on, put in my wallets, put in my restaurants, elsewhere. The money was that good.
Oh my God.
To the point that Willem Dafoe at one point said there's helicopters coming over, like, the scene where he was, like, doing the whole counterfeit bill process, where, like, they were convinced every single time they heard a helicopter, oh, that's the, like, Secret Service, we're gonna get arrested right now.
Yeah, well, for starters, maybe this is just my ignorance of our American Secret Service system, but I figured, like, the Secret Service just kind of, like, lived in Washington, D.C., and, like, everybody just traveled. I didn't realize, I don't know how realistic it is that the Secret Service has a base that's chasing counterfeit money. It kind of reminded me of the scene in Catch Me If You Can with Tom Hanks, when Tom Hanks catches Leo for the first time, and he like fakes it out. He's just like, "Hey, we just caught the guy. Look, we're walking him into the building. Secret Service here." And he's like, "I didn't know Secret Service did this." And I felt the exact same way the entire movie, just being like, huh. I know this is very fictionalized, but I didn't know the Secret Service did this.
It's a thing through movies that I learned, because between this and the Clint Eastwood movie In the Line of Fire, where he's a Secret Service agent, in the beginning of the movie has him tracking down counterfeit bills, where I was like, oh, I guess that's a thing they do. That's what I learned.
Is it a thing that they do, or is it just like a movie thing that you do? Because you just say it like,
I think
instead of make it FBI, you just make it Secret Service, and it just sounds more interesting.
I think it's something they definitely used to do in the 80s, but I think the laws, I don't know, it changed and they don't do that anymore. I saw a little video on it. So it is a real thing they used to do apparently. But yeah, they definitely feel like they definitely feel like they have more of a like FBI undercover type vibe of something like Lethal Weapon and Martin Griggs, whatever.
We do get an "I'm getting too old for this shit" line in this movie.
years before Lethal Weapon, which I was like, did Shane Black steal from this movie?
They probably
common
did.
phrase, I guess.
Yeah, but one immortalized the line and one did not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, probably I think for me, like the dialogue is very kind of hit and miss. Like, I guess now watching it in 2026, some of it does feel very cliched. But some of them are like amazing.
Yeah.
I guess we'll get to that at some point.
William Peterson's whole vibe right here, I think, just like goes off the performance of Cena's dick, where he's just having this like big dick energy throughout the movie. Where, like you see it like constantly throughout. Where like when he's in the interrogation room of John Turturro, the way he sits on the chair and stands on the chair, just to like emphasize, "Hey, I got a big dick here, John Turturro. What are you gonna do about it?" The point that John Turturro also kicks him in the dick at one point.
Yeah, there's a lot of dick kicking. Defoe does that as well.
Yeah.
In one of his action scenes, goes straight for the dick kick.
Straight away. When the dick showed up, because I had my phone like away and I had to take it out and text Tommy, being like, I didn't expect to see a hard on, because like I feel like also in movies they're typically flaccid when they show them, not a full on hard on. Like that's typically not what they do. And
our new segment, Dick Corner.
Yeah, you only really get like a silhouette of the balls, so that's it.
And like the shadow of the hard on.
Yeah,
when we get to the point where like William Dafoe and Peterson's partner are in the sauna together, it's just almost feel like them like one up at each other, where it's just like, yeah, do you have a big dick? You sure? Over and over again. So what a crazy movie! What freaking you're insane. This movie's a blast, and the fact you have a Wang Chung score throughout, and like I'm so shocked they have not done a score since, before or since, because it's so much fun and it adds so much vibe to this movie. Like when you have those car chases or those foot chases, and it launches into the Wang Chung score, you're like, all right, we got ourselves a movie. Let's go. It's really driving.
It's really interesting with the score because you get that amazing, like, I mean, the score feels so 80s. Like, I don't think a score is 80s more than this 80s film.
Definitely.
But like that opening is really interesting because it kind of gives you this very like comfortable, cozy vibe a little bit with the score. Like, okay, this is kind of feels very like, I don't know, as I said, like Lethal Weapon or Eddie Murphy type of 80s cop thriller, whatever. Beverly Hills Cop. And then like when we get into the hotel, it all kind of when Peterson notices someone walking across the corridor, like the score cuts out and it gets kind of more serious from that point on, and then it in that scene, and like the action goes very quick, and before you know it, the suicide bomber explodes. You're like, holy crap! So there's a lot of like really interesting tonal. I don't want to say like shifts, but like there's definitely some changes there.
It's a messy,
and the music helps with that as well.
It's definitely a messy movie, in my opinion. Not necessarily in a bad way, because like some of the chase sequences are just like incredible in this, especially the famous car chase sequence. It's just another one of like, oh, Billy, you madman, you did it again. One of the more insane chase sequences where it's just like he can shoot the hell out of a car chase sequence. You did feel the mess like in the screenplay. It left. I don't mind when things aren't explained, but it felt a lot like, well, we don't know what to do next. So what if we just have William Peterson show up and start beating the shit out of a guy? Like it just sort of feels like that. And
I agree. I think but I think that's definitely its strength, and you don't have to like do too much. Well, I mean, you have to kind of do a little bit of the work, I guess, with the story, and I guess you have to be a little bit of aware of like crime thrillers, I guess, coming into this a little bit. It doesn't like spell things out for you, which I quite liked.
It feels
yeah.
more like vibe based and stuff because this is my second time
Yeah.
watching a movie, and both
Okay.
times like the plot's like not complicated, but
No.
they don't emphasize the plot a ton. Where like you're mostly just focusing on just like William Peterson just swinging his big dick around and like, fucking like beating the shit out of people, and like while Wang Chung's over the score. Or like I'm watching this, I'm like, all right, yeah, I get this. I'm on this vibe.
Because a lot of like the plot is just obviously it's a revenge thriller at the end of the day, isn't it? And Peterson getting revenge against Masters, Willem Dafoe's character, and a lot of it is just like, okay, if I find this guy, it will lead me to this thing or to this guy. It's kind of that kind of thing, and they can't, and then which I guess allows the film to really focus down onto great character moments for both of these characters, which I think is a real strength of the film.
Definitely.
But it's time for our next segment here, which is what have you watched recently? Is there any movies, maybe even a television show in my case, because I have not actually had time to watch a movie lately. Tommy, why don't you kick us off? What have you watched lately?
All right. So yesterday, after I watched To Live and Die in LA with my friend, we went to Yale University, which is near me, Ivy League school that does like classic film screen prints of like 35 millimeter screenings. And the one they did last night was Michael Bay's The Rock for its 30th anniversary. This is a first time watch for me. Never saw The Rock before. I've never been a big Bay head, but this movie, I mean, for lack of a better word, it rocked. I mean, it was so much fun. It was just like you have like a army of like fucking like character actors in this movie where like you have like Tony Todd, Candyman himself, you have Ed Harris, you have Michael Biehn, and they're all just like going out at it and like at each other. And then you have Sean Connery, who may or may not be playing James Bond 30 years later in this movie, which is insane.
So it's just like the Diamonds Are Forever sequel.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like total 90s excess where like you have like Michael Bay doing a car chase where everything explodes, even a trolley car. And I'm watching this with a crowd where I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. Like I'm all for this. The plot's a little like wonky and like, you know, there's some performances are a little weak, but it's also just one of those things like we talk a lot about like, you know, atmosphere and like lighting, how much better it used to be. And it's really a case of we don't know how good we had it. Where like you see these things where most of that movie, The Rock, takes place in Alcatraz at night with no natural lighting sources, yet you can see everything clearly and so stylized so well in a way that's so much fun. And I just had a blast with it. It's not a perfect movie, but it's one of those ones that like with a crowd, you're gonna have a good fun time.
How the hell in Zeus's butthole did you get out of your cell? Is my favorite line.
It's wild. It's wild because then you have Nick Cage, like who's like at the beginning talking about like vinyl and like Beatlemania. He's like, it sounds better on vinyl because I'm a music collector, and it's just like, what's going on here? It's insane.
Well, it gets you completely on board for this character straight away. You're like, yep, yeah, I love this man.
And my favorite is that he's talking to his girlfriend about how like he doesn't think he wants to bring a kid into this world because like, oh, it's like the world's going so crazy. It feels cruel. And he's like, well, guess what? I'm pregnant. He's like, oh, he's like, you sure you're saying that? He's like, well, that's before I knew all the information. And it's like, well, that was 5 minutes ago. Well, yeah, now I know you're pregnant and now I want a kid. Insanely corny dialogue.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing dialogue.
Bay might be able to do that. It's one of those movies I would like to I'm not a Bay head at all. We've only covered one Bay movie, which was the original Bad Boys, and I remembered not having the fun time that people have with it. I learned in last week's episode that I might be a pessimist. I might be the Debbie Downer of the pod.
Took you 4 years to realize 5 years.
The Rock is definitely his best film, for sure.
Some call me a pessimist. Others call me just a realist. I don't know. But I did not have a super fun time, but I'd be open to covering that movie at some point in time. But it's Michael Bay at his, I guess his best.
Yeah.
I
like himself.
Certainly,
I like Ambulance as well, though. Ambulance I quite liked.
I heard great things about Ambulance.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal is fantastic in it. And I think like it was around that kind of drone craze that a lot of directors had at that time. and I think like Michael Bay was able to use drones like amazingly, compared to something like The Grey Man, which I saw recently, which adds completely nothing to the
Oh
film.
God, yeah.
Yeah,
One of the Netflix
Russo
slots.
brothers. Yeah, I mean, it's not a terrible film, The Grey Man, but like, why are you using drones? You're just using drones because you can. Whereas I think in
Yeah.
Ambulance, I think because it's so kinetic and so action heavy, the drone stuff certainly works in it. There's one like shot where like, I mean, it's a crazy action film. It's completely absurd, but like there's I think there's a cop car like does a jump over something, and the drone kind of goes under the cop car as it's jumping. It's just like, whoa. The timing involved in that must have been insane.
That's awesome.
But yeah,
There's something that we had some guy introduce the film, Justin Liberty. He runs Vinegar Syndrome, the DVD home market video. He's talking about the vulgar auteur theory. That's like the auteur theory for Michael Bay is like, you can see a Michael Bay movie and you can't say that there's not a Michael Bay stamp on this. Like you can feel the Michael Bayness when you watch a movie of this, which you can't say of other shittier directors. Like, I don't know, Len Wiseman, for example, is like the poor man's Michael Bay.
So, yeah, you could do Ambulance because that's all set in LA, I think. So, LA theme.
Martin, is there anything you have seen recently? Maybe a movie coming up on the podcast?
I mean, I've seen quite a bit recently. I saw the new Masters of the Universe film.
Ooh.
That's a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, Jared Leto's in it as Skeletor, but he's quite funny in it, and you don't get to see his face, which is a bonus.
That helps.
Yeah, that helps.
But they do some really interesting things with Skeletor in it, and I think, I mean, it's very generic. It's a lot of fun, and He-Man's like power level is all over the shop, but
He-Man. This movie was like, why didn't this release in 2011? Why is this? I cannot believe they spent $150 million on a He-Man movie in 2026. Like, I genuinely cannot believe that got greenlit.
Well, apparently it was a movie that like there's been development for like 25 years and they just kept on trying to crack the code, and like the script has like different things. But like for like Tim and I, for example, we're like younger millennials. Like we were born like 94, 93. By the time we were kids, He-Man was already on its way out. So it feels like if you were like, I don't know, like an 80s kid, you love He-Man, but like outside of the 80s kids and 70s kids, there's not that much nostalgia. It's not like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or like other 80s properties that like still have lived in the culture. And whereas He-Man kind of just went away for a while. Where for us, like the best pop culture osmosis of He-Man is him being gay in a YouTube video of like the what's going on video. Like that's it. That's yeah, exactly. What's going on? So it's interesting because like the audience feels kind of niche for a movie that has a $200 million budget. So it's just like, I don't know. That's a gamble. I don't think that's a smart gamble.
Well, He-Man's also interesting to me just because it's like, I think it's the definitive, this was a toy line and they were like, how do we sell more of these? Why don't we make a like low budget animated TV show to go on kids programming in the mornings and make them buy the toys? Like, that's He-Man's existence versus like at least the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were a comic book beforehand. Like there was at least some sort of creative.
Well, you can say the same about
genesis.
like G.I. Joe and Transformers.
Oh yeah, I mean
way more successful.
Oh yeah, that was the genesis of that though, and I don't think it transcends into. It also never got like a great piece of. It never had the Dolph Lundgren film right in the
of Courtney Cox. Yeah,
that's
Dolph Lundgren's in the new one as well.
Oh, he is. I was about to ask. That's the one thing I want to know. That's awesome.
It's only really a cameo, but he has a decent scene in it. So,
hell yeah.
But yeah, the film very much takes the piss out of itself from minute one, to be honest. So,
nice.
A lot of jokes at its own expense.
That's funny.
Which I think is the way to go, to be honest. I think a lot of films, like I saw War Machine on Netflix a while ago, and I'm like, this has such a ludicrous kind of concept about like, you know, the an alien Ed 209 from RoboCop, a giant one coming down to Earth and trying to kill all these kind of army dudes. A ridiculous concept, and yet they take it so seriously, like it's a Spielberg World War II film, and it's just like, what is happening?
Hey, you can have a levity in your film.
Yeah, that was pretty awful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
other movies, I watched a bunch for a podcast that didn't happen, annoyingly. The Manson Family from '97, and Lords of Chaos, The Elephant Man. Certainly, like Lords of Chaos, a very, very violent film, and The Manson Family from '97. That was it's kind of done in a very like documentary style, very grainy, but super dark, very, very dark, extremely violent. Definitely
That
not
is-
for the very faint of heart.
Well, I think that's one of those movies.
I needed to lie down after that.
Yeah.
Is that one of the movies that the Tate family, the Sharon Tate estate, came out and were like vehemently against? I believe, right? I just
Probably,
remember
yeah.
a bunch of
there-
the movies that the Tate family hated when Once Upon a Time in Hollywood came out.
There's the one of Mandy
Yeah.
Moore where Mandy Moore was like Sharon Tate's ghost or something like that, and like haunting a house. I remember. I think it's called The Haunting of Sharon Tate, where it's like
Yeah.
a little classless, I think.
Yeah, it was. This one was from Jim Van Beber. So, yeah, it's one of those films where you just don't want to watch it again. So I wouldn't recommend
Well,
that.
once it's done.
But
Well,
but with The Elephant Man though, I saw that like years ago when I was like really young, and I don't think it you know, it's an upsetting film. It's very sad, but I didn't fully understand it, I think, at the time. But watching it again recently, that destroyed me.
Yeah.
Just like incredible performances. Like probably I would say David Lynch's most accessible film in a way. But yeah, absolutely
his-
devastating.
Probably his most like underrated film too. Like it was very big at the time, but I feel like now when it comes to like the Lynchian stuff with like Twin Peaks, Mulholland Drive, Blue Velvet, like those tend to be and even Eraserhead, like those are the ones that people tend to like gravitate to. Where great films like The Straight Story and The Elephant Man just kind of get a little bit lost in the limbo because they don't have the zaniness and the surrealist approach that Lynch typically has. Like those two are just tend to be a little bit more accessible to like a general audience. But great movie, it's devastating. Elephant Man. No,
It definitely has its like dream sequences and things, but it's it's not on the level of what you would expect of a Lynch movie, for sure. But I mean, I feel like with a film, he's able to create these scenes and situations where, without doing like a lot, it feels like, but it makes you feel like incredibly angry, and it makes you feel so much with such effortless filmmaking. It's so good. I mean, it was like the easiest 5 stars I'd put on Letterboxd recently, to be honest.
Oh yeah. That's Lynch blind spot for me, so eventually we'll cover that one.
We'll eventually cover it.
Yeah.
I will go quick here because I didn't actually get time since our last recording and this recording to watch any other movies other than the ones here, but I have been watching a police procedural. It's very famous. It's called The Wire. It's just very funny in contrast to which is fantastic, by the way. I could go on for hours about, I think I'm in the middle of season 3 right now. I could go on for hours about The Wire, but for something, the creators had were a reporter and a police officer in Baltimore. So there's definitely a grounded realism to what they are doing here. And especially in terms of like the bureaucracy and corruption of a police officer or like a police state, police department as big as the city of Baltimore's, what they're faced with. Like it definitely deals with that and in what feels very real. And then compare it to like To Live and Die in LA, which as just a completely rogue Secret Service agent versus like the Wire does. If you haven't seen it, The Wire's main protagonist, Detective Jimmy McNulty, like he's a bit of a rogue agent inside the department, meaning like whatever he feels is right, he's going to make that case happen. but he operates within that like realm of realism to kind of get the story going and make things a priority in the drug war in the city of Baltimore. And then it's like you watch it in this, and it's like I was expecting a little bit more of like into Live and Die in LA. I was expecting a little bit more of like the bureaucracy of the Secret Service department in Los Angeles, and just doesn't happen at all. Like,
no, it's not about that whatsoever.
Just completely ignore that. Anything bad they do, just completely ignore it. It doesn't matter. Kind of movie. But yeah, if you haven't watched The Wire and you're looking for one of the great television dramas, this is up there on the Madman Sopranos tier. Those were, before starting The Wire, those were my top two of the great dramas. Breaking Bad probably a tier below it. I love Breaking Bad a lot. It's not a diss on it. It feels more like a show and less like a novel, and then this one kind of transcends that into the novel, the great American novel status.
There's that Family Guy joke where Peter gets hypnotized by a TV watching Breaking Bad, and it's like, you will tell all your friends that Breaking Bad is the best show you've ever seen since maybe The Wire. So yeah,
we could go into a Breaking Bad. We could go into a Breaking Bad debate. I love it. I'm not here to try to criticize Breaking Bad.
If we ever want to switch to the TV, I have not seen either shows, so just throwing them out there.
Maybe as we continue getting larger,
as we transition into a Breaking Bad Wire rewatch podcast.
I've only seen the first two of The Wire, first two seasons.
Yes.
So that's so interesting because I actually really enjoyed it. I've heard that season 2 of The Wire is the one, like I had heard this reputation when they go to the docks is like people are like, what is this? I don't know. This is too different for me. And then maybe they watch it and they're just like, okay, I'm done. Then season 3 kind of brings it back, and it's one of the great seasons of televised drama. It's so far it's been incredible, and
nice.
Stringer Bell and Avon Barksdale. Highly recommend it. This is To Live and Die in L.A. To Live and Die in L.A. is a 1985 American neo-noir action thriller film directed and co-written by William Friedkin. It is based on the 1984 novel of the same name by former U.S. Secret Service agent Gerald Petovich, who co-wrote the screenplay with Friedkin. It stars William Peterson, Willem Dafoe, John Pankow, John Turturro, Darlan Flugel, and Dean Stockwell. Wang Chung composed and performed the original music soundtrack. The film tells the stories of the lengths to which 2 Secret Service agents go to arrest a counterfeiter. For Tommy, this was a Tommy recommendation, and was just like, no, just trust. It was a real trust me, bro. It's awesome. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm here for it. I watched this 2 days ago. I'm still not fully sure how I feel about this movie. I came in knowing nothing about this movie. My girlfriend asked me before I was watching it. She's like, what's it about? Do you want me to come over and watch it with you? And I'm like, I have no idea what it's about. And she's like, okay, then I'm probably not going to come over and watch it with you then. And
probably a good idea at the end.
Yeah, probably considering the troubles we had with Showgirls when I put that one on in front of her, and she was just like,
I still can't believe you did that.
I didn't know. I should have known based on the name, but I didn't know how bad it was. You know.
And then your girlfriend was like, "I don't want you to watch this," and I was like, "Meanwhile, I'm like, yeah, Showgirls, fucking hilarious movie."
That film destroyed careers.
Yeah. Basically, put Kyle MacLachlan in television for the rest of the time.
Just the swimming pool scene. Oh my god.
This is
fucking flopping back and forth.
This movie is like can be very hypnotizing at parts. I think of the early scene of and Tommy, you mentioned this at the top, of the counterfeiting money when they show the full process of how Dafoe makes these bills. Like that first sequence, like 10 minutes into the movie, I thought was completely hypnotizing and completely kind of took me in, because I knew nothing. So I was going in blind. I was like, is this Secret Service? Is this FBI? I can't really tell what they're trying to do here. Because and then there's just like a terrorist bomber at the beginning, and I didn't fully. That was just there for an action piece, I guess, and potentially Israeli propaganda. I don't know. But it does that, and then Willem Dafoe burning one of his own paintings, and then we cut to William Peterson doing a bungee jumping off a bridge, which I believe was
Yeah.
actually him doing the stunt.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I could never do bungee jumping.
No.
A quick tangent. That'd be awful. It sounds terrible.
Yeah, it seemed a bit weird that the cord was attached to his ankle. Or
Well, they kind of hide the cord at
Yeah.
first, so it makes it you wonder at first, like, is he jumping from the bridge and killing himself right there?
Yeah, I
And then
thought this
also it cuts-
is a suicide scene or something, or
Which seems
something like
weird
that.
for your which seems
And
weird for
apparently-
your protagonist, like in the beginning of the movie, where I'm like, okay, well, he's the top build. I'm guessing he's not going to kill himself 5 minutes into the movie. That's typically not how that works.
Yeah, and apparently that was the bridge that Tony Scott jumped off of. Unfortunately,
Oh,
so that was
okay.
that was a IBM trivia fact, fun trivia fact, I guess.
I wouldn't call that fun.
No,
We were robbed of more great Tony Scott projects.
Oh yeah, this does also feel like more like in a Tony Scott type of vein of like a freak for freaking, where it's just like a lot of vibes, a lot of like sunsets and stuff like that. Just like great 80s score. Like if you told me Tony Scott directed this movie, I would not be shocked.
No, I mean less like under cranking and over cranking, etc. But
Yeah.
of all that stuff. But
I
it's
feel
interesting with the fact that this is an LA film as well, because I think I read that Friedkin purposely didn't want to show like any of the LA landmarks, and certainly wanted to like stick with all the kind of the dirty underworld side of LA. And yet it kind of, there are moments where like the cinematography looks amazing, like as you say, with like the, you know, some of the sunset shots. There's some really great pinky cinematography here as well. So but yeah, there's this great mix of like, you know, dirty LA with actually, LA looks quite nice.
Yeah. We don't see we don't see like the Hollywood sign or anything like that. And also
No.
just like, and again, like use of color of freaking. He's always like amazing at that, where like everything just looks amazing. And we have that one scene where Peterson goes into the strip club to see his like girlfriend / informant, and just like the way it looks and just like the way the colors just keep on raining off him. It's like red colors, yellow colors, all the shit all at once. It just looks so cool, and you're immediately just like for the vibe.
Yeah, the girl is like soaked in like green light, whereas Michael Peterson's all in red. But that scene I found was quite funny, like how the signs outside when he goes in, like, you know, enter here, and there's like a million arrows saying enter going around the place. I'm like,
I
okay,
also look for a frame perspective. You have Peterson talking to her. When you have Peterson talking to her in the background, you just see a girl stripping, like kind of slightly out of focus.
Yeah,
it's like amazing background detail right there. It's like, oh, okay.
Well, it just kind of reminded me of Drive when he goes into the strip club and and he's threatening the guy, and there's just topless strippers in the back room, just for no other reason other than vibe. Are they there topless? But they are there topless. And it had a little bit of that energy to it, but it, you know,
And you have an original Wang Chung song in that scene too. One of the ones people do know.
And you know, with this movie, it just, I was trying to think back to like where I would argue that The Exorcist is his magnum opus, is probably his greatest work, where I can't really find a flaw in that. I think it's a flawless film. One of the very few truly flawless. And in this one, it's like he's always trying to, it kind of abandons that realism in this one. Like I feel like even with like the French Connection, there just felt to be like a level of realism to it. And then it feels like after that, like Sorcerer, from what I remember, it did still feel pretty realistic. This one just feels like a fantasy explosion of just like, what if 2 Secret Service agents just went completely rogue? And it's not realistic at all, but yet Friedkin is still trying to capture it as though it is real, with some of the more violent kills you'll ever see in a movie.
Oh yeah, it's wild. I mean, like even like spoiler for the end, but like when Peterson himself gets to shotgun blast to the face and you see his head like rip open, it's so fucking like jarring, especially because you don't expect the star of your movie to die with like, I don't know, 10 minutes left at all.
That guy had a death wish. We knew he was dying.
Yeah, I mean, all the kills in this are all headshots, I think, and there's definitely a very like conscious effort from Friedkin with that. Like, there's even some POV shots of where, William Dafoe kills people right in the head, and it's just that from that perspective, it's quite kind of violent in that way without making it like insanely graphic. It certainly has its graphic moments with a lot of the kills, but yeah, I did not expect. Well, I certainly didn't expect him to die right at the end, because you don't expect your lead character to get bumped off. But I kind of get what Friedkin was doing, I guess, because John Vukovic, his kind of new partner, is as he gets deeper into what Chance is doing, Michael Peterson's character, like increasingly like becoming unhinged and going slightly cray, trying to desperately get his man in Masters, William Dafoe's character, and Vukovic is basically freaking out, and he even goes to like the attorney to try and make a deal because like they got an FBI undercover agent killed. And yet at the end, I guess you could argue it's a tad maybe tacked on, a bit rushed, where you kind of feel like Vukovic has gone full circle, and now Vukovic is using the girl as his informant, and he's embodying Chance's character now. But
as my friend said that I watched this movie with, he said at the end of it, Vukovic has completely taken over, and he inherited William Peterson's Chad energy because he's really wearing like the leather jacket.
That was
like
I love that leather jacket though.
Yeah,
that jacket was awesome.
That rocks.
Oh, it's a great leather jacket. It was just so surprising for a character that was so like timid and so trying not to break the police bro code of turning in your partner and all these things. For him to just be like, well, my partner died, so now I have to be him. Which was just was crazy reveal for the movie to end on.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly don't fully buy that because of how, it plays out in that last scene. I'm like, this does feel very out of character for this guy because he has been freaking out and, a bit of a cowardly well, not cowardly, but just
nervy.
Freaking out is the word I would use, because he's like, how the hell are we going to get away with this, dude? What the fuck are you doing? We need to,
especially in the car chase. I love like the juxtaposition between Peterson and like John Pankow, like in the car chase, where Peterson's like acting cool. He's like totally in the vibe. He's in the pocket. He's ready. And Pankow is just like essentially just freaking the fuck out in the back of the car, just like he can't believe what's happening. He's just losing his shit completely.
Yeah, the acting contrast between those two in the car is great. Like, you can tell like Michael Peterson is portraying this guy like, he's really in it, and there's almost an aspect of like he just wants to do this for the thrill of it. Friedkin kind of has that layer of like he just wants to feel something, because you have, it's established very early on that he loves base jumping and he's trying to get his partner into base jumping as well. Like, let's just be cops for the thrill of it, dude, and as well as get revenge.
I think it's a very interesting choice in terms of like a character for Peterson's character, that he is not like all we get from him is like he's a thrill junkie, and there's nothing else that can stop this chase for him. And to the point that like the central plot, in order to try to get back, to arrest Willem Dafoe's character, he has to, he needs to give $30,000 for a payment, so that way they could have a wire bust on them.
Yeah.
The Secret Service cannot approve $30,000 in loans, so instead he uses a tip from his informant to rob $50,000.
Yeah,
that is like that. Talk about going rogue. Okay, that is. Let's commit a crime to catch criminals. It's very like backwards logic, but it for him, it's like the only personal scenes we see with him is with the informant, and he just goes over there, has sex with her, and then it turns out like she's indebted to him. He got her out of prison. He has sex with her, and then because like the first time we also see her is like she's coming up to him giving a tip on where one of the warehouses would be. And then she's like, yeah, my son's actually coming. And he's like, oh, cool. So you need an extra 500? She's like, no, actually. I was like, okay, we'll get you an extra 500 then for this tip if it's good. And it's like, he clearly does not connect with human beings on any sort of level. And he just kind of uses them and bruises them.
Oh, yeah.
And goes through life. Like even his partner, Vukovic, who I have a strong feeling is probably the character that former U.S. Secret Service agent and author of the novel and co-writer of the screenplay, Gerald Petovich, probably would connect with there, where he's like this anxiety-induced agent, and then at the end he's like super cool guy. Like that feels like if you were writing a character based on yourself, you would like to be Mr. Cool Guy by the end of the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting that they have like a lot of these kind of very heightened, and as you say, like a little bit of sort of fantasy moments within this kind of cop world, because there's that incredible like sequence in the warehouse where everything's burning down, where Masters gets shot. Just the way Friedkin shoots all those kind of fire effects just creates that kind of feeling for that character as well for Vukovic. It's sort of like the transformation scene in a very visual way for him. I guess if you want to look at it like that a little bit, and
becoming Peterson.
Because he's because he can't believe like the guy, the FBI undercover guy was shot, and he ends up like bringing himself to shoot Masters in that warehouse as it's burning down. It's a very like it's certainly a scene that you do not expect to happen in this kind of very cop thrillery type neo-noir film. It definitely feels very dark in that way, the way it's all shot, and certainly with like Eric Masters' character as well. It's a very kind of very different like villain for this type of film as well. Like he's very assured, very slick. And I definitely feel like he knew that these guys were undercover, but he didn't really care. He was just like, he just wanted to see how this was going to play out. Even though he kind of feels like he has very strict rules on how he does business, because he makes it very clear, like, well, if you don't front up the money, we're not doing business or whatever. He kind of has this feeling that he knew that they were cops.
I don't think he knew they were cops initially, because he meets them, then he goes outside and he's like, there's all this stuff in the car. Like they planned everything, like of like things about Cayman Islands, the name of the bank company there. Like it has all of that. So he's like, he's suspicious of these guys. He's going to check on them. The names aren't on the sheets, but there's enough evidence to be like, okay, I can continue talking with these guys. Sure. So they continue talking. When these offshore bankers start balking at $30,000 down payment because they can only get 10,000, I think that's when he clocks them. I think it's
and he even says like, well, if you can't front it, then you ain't shit. I know, essentially, like, I know you're not about it. And the way Defoe acts, like even when he's killing people, when he's killing Peterson's partner in the beginning of the movie, like the older guy who says, I'm too old for this shit. The way he says it is just like so relaxed and calm and like in a menacing way where it's just like, buddy, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. Boom.
Yeah.
That's it. And so Defoe, I think, is like probably like a top 5 villain actor we have, like overall, like we go through film history. So when you have a movie where Defoe's playing a villain, you know you're in for a good time. And his performance is just so captivating. That's just like the way he interacts and plays off people. And when he has that one guy who he gives like half the money to kill John Turturro in prison, and then he goes back to the house afterwards and says, hey, I want your money. I'm not leaving without it. And it's just so menacing. It's just like, he's not losing his shit. He's not like fucking freaking out. It's just so calm. And that is 10 times scarier.
Well, I think Defoe's performance and then the Defoe character itself, how it's written, and his intelligence and ruthlessness, I think is sometimes missing in a lot of movies where this is one of the stronger villains I've seen where I'm like, this guy is always 2 steps ahead of you. He's smart. We actually see some of his processes of how he scopes people out and how he goes after things. And I I really, really love that performance. Like, I think that's for all the great stuff in this movie, I think a lot of it is a mess between Peterson and Vukovic. I think that I think that part of it can get really messy when it's like them doing the scope outs and stuff, and then them doing certain other things that aren't like when they're chasing down the 2 guys from the warehouse. A lot of it just kind of feels a little bit irrelevant, and then when a relevant scene arrives, they just kind of arrive at the relevant scene. We don't get any background into like how we got here. But then you have Defoe's character who's very organized, very competent, very on top of his game. And it really adds a menacing to it, where a lot of times, like, you have a villain in a movie, but he's stupid and dumb, and you just don't buy into the menacing nature of him. You know,
I love how he sets people up. Like when when Defoe has that one guy who's like an informant or something like that, and he has his girl come over to the place and like try and like seduce the guy.
Yeah.
And then Defoe just walks up and is like, "Oh, so you're gonna fuck my girl?" Like, oh, like so you're okay. Like,
no messing about.
Not messing about. He immediately takes the guy out. It's just so scary because like the guy knows the second Defoe walks in the room, I'm fucked. Like,
how did he not know that when the door opened? When the girl's like, "Oh, I love the rain. Let me open the door before we fool around." And
I think his dick was doing the thinking right there.
It
all comes back to dicks in this movie.
Yeah, very dick centric movie. The little man got ahead, you know.
Yeah.
That's certainly a scene where I think the dialogue sometimes falls down. Like, as you mentioned, I love the rain. Yeah, it's groovy. I'm like,
yes. We get it. You're a hippie. We get it. You're a hippie in the 60s. We get it.
Yeah. I do love a quick like little heat check performance. Robert Downey Jr.'s dad, Robert Downey Jr. Sr. is the police chief or like the Secret Service chief. I love the beginning where like Pearson goes into the office to like try and talk to him. He's like, "Oh, great that you're here. I was just about to talk to you." And he says all this stuff about your new partner. "Oh, what are you here about?" And Pearson's like walks away. He's like, "Okay." It's just so random. There's like all these random shit that pops up in the movie.
I think of Caddyshack. I think of Ghostbusters. I think of like all those great comedies of the early 80s that are like very much cocaine productions. And then is this the greatest cocaine movie of the 1980s? Like, I think this question does need to be brought up because of all the 80s cocaine movies that I've seen. And when I say that, I mean, not because it's about cocaine or anything, just because like you can tell they were on cocaine when they made it. And I think this is the most cocaine movie of all time that at least I've seen.
To Live and Die LA, I think is definitely like the like A tier. And like when you have that foot chase when Peterson is tracking down Turturro through the airport and just like how it goes down and like he tracks him into a bathroom. He pulls his gun on one guy that's taking a shit. He's like, "Oh God, no, what's happening here?" and then he ends up arresting Turturro. And then in the process, one guy walks in and he's like, "Oh, I was just here to take a leak. I'm sorry. It's just so it's amazing."
That was a random piece of comedy. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have the one guy who's like the airport security guy that's trying to arrest like Peterson, and he's like, "Nah," he's like backs up against the Turturro. He's like, "Here's my badge. Here's my badge." and then
Vukovic comes in and he's like, "Freeze!"
It's like, I'm actually Secret Service too. It's hilarious, but that foot chase in itself has so much cocaine energy because just like Turturro running away, it's so dynamic. It's almost as fun as the car chase in this.
What about the sequence of them trying to get like 2 guys down from the Western Bank Credit Union or something, where they're trying to interview these 2 like foot soldiers, I suppose is the best way to put it, and the chase scene with Peterson and the one guy he's chasing down just goes on forever.
Gary Cole. That was Gary Cole's first movie.
That Gary Cole?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. My. That's incredible. Also, like, I'm thinking of the John Turturro character where he's like, I don't think this movie has pacing issues per se, just because it is a little bit cocaine-ish, where it's like the high is very much like a bump and then it kind of levels up and then you take another bump and you go like it has that energy to it. Like the John Turturro, that first air chase sequence, great chase sequence. then he takes him out of prison, and then William Peterson's character, who is just so dead set on revenge in this, and he like hears a sob story from Totoro about his daughter being in the hospital, and then like the girl he says doesn't even have the same last name. Like he didn't even try to sell this, and he's like, you know what, man, you're right, and he just lets the prisoner go in the hospital, takes his cuffs off, and then he just decks him and goes. It was. Again,
well, it's such a great comedic buildup because the whole scene prior is Peterson talking to like one of his superiors about how he really needs to get this prisoner released. And the chief is just like, all right, well, if you fuck this up, like, listen, like this is really big shit. You better not lose this guy. And then almost immediately after. It's like followed by that scene where he just gets kicked in the fucking balls repeatedly by Totoro, and Totoro just runs away. And like the doctor at the hospital is like, yeah, so that's that's like a 50-year-old woman or something like that. That's not like a kid. He just made up some name.
How did John Turner? Oh, because I think it was one of his like prison partners' mothers was in the hospital. That's how he. Your prison mates' mothers was in the hospital. That's how he had a name that they could verify was actually there.
I think they give him like a few scenes because there's that one scene where Totoro is in the prison and he's watching all these people start building up, and like he's like, am I about to get fucking shanked or something?
Like, yes, like, yes, you are. You need to move.
Yeah, he realizes immediately. He's like, oh, these guys are walking towards me. Should I be worried? And his friend's like, yeah, you might be worried.
I like how then Totoro is still like, I'm not ratting on Masters, and it's like, brother, he just tried to have you killed in prison. What do you what are you doing?
And that
this is your opportunity.
I said this before. This follows like the interrogation scene where Pearson just stands on the chair and just like, look at my dick. Just come on, Totoro.
You know you want it. This is your opportunity to get out.
And there was just far more Totoro in this, which is I'm not complaining about. Love John Totoro.
Yeah, he's great.
Always a pleasure when he shows up. I was just stunned that the only reason he's kind of in this movie is that Peterson ultimately catches him after the whole big chase sequence in his girlfriend's apartment or something like that. He like breaks in, like holds the girlfriend hostage. Like he goes through the window, gets this guy, and then is like, okay, buddy, now you're going to tell me where his warehouses was. So that way we know that we know where the warehouses are, even though it was the Chinese symbol building that we found out from the art teacher, like 40 minutes ago. It was just that building. The Totoro stuff just kind of feels like it was great. It just didn't feel like it had anything in this movie that necessary for this plot or story to go through. It was just like, here's a guy, here's a little side story.
Yeah, he's certainly a great like character actor, and like definitely suits the role really well. And he's definitely it's definitely a character that you could definitely like shorten down a little bit, and you wouldn't lose much for the film. But because it's John Turturro, you know, I didn't mind too much about it. He's always great to watch.
It's great flavor, a great little like spice to it.
Yeah. And again, I'm not trying to like, I had a fun time watching this movie. I'm not complaining about it. This movie is just under 2 hours long, so it certainly doesn't feel long at all. I just
never drags. No,
but it's more of like we're here talking about this movie, and there are flaws with it, and there are criticisms of it, and it feels valid.
Well, I do love how like Peterson feels the need to like have Defoe and Peterson and Pankow like working out in a gym together, just back and forth, while Peterson's wearing the shortest shorts possible. Again, it's just him trying to show off. Just him trying to show off.
And then them in the locker room right after, and it's just all three of them changing. We're just getting 3 ass shots of like it's very distracting. It's just like I can't even pay. Like I'm just like I wasn't expecting this. I don't know what you were thinking here, Friedkin. And I'm kind of losing the details of what's going on here because I got 3 white asses in my face.
Then Defoe like tries to cuck him in the sauna, essentially, just be like, yeah, like come on, you guys aren't gonna give me the money.
It's definitely.
What kind of offshore bankers are you if you don't even have that kind of money available for you? We really haven't gone through the. You mentioned it, but there's one big masterful sequence here. the car chase sequence that just, I believe it's like 15 minutes long. Like I couldn't believe how long the sequence just kept going for.
And it keeps escalating and escalating.
Yes, keeps escalating and escalating and escalating. And so it starts, he gets a tip from his Peterson. Chance gets is it he has Ruth is Ruth or Bianca his
I think Bianca's his
informant tells him that this jewel buyer's coming in for $50,000. It is implied that she set him up. I believe she absolutely set him up. She was sick of this guy and was just like, what if they try to stick up a FBI undercover thing? Maybe that'll just make my problem go away. But they take this guy into the car looking for his briefcase and start smashing it looking for this $50,000. It's on his person, and then all of a sudden these guys who were following them from behind just start firing with like assault rifles, and it's like it gets very intense, and a car chase sequence begin, which is as frantic and hectic. Martin, have you seen The French Connection?
I have indeed, yeah. I think I think the car chase is, I don't know, I haven't seen it in a while, but like this car chase is very much up there for sure.
It's close.
Yeah.
I was texting Timmy before, like I was like, because he was talking about the car chase. I was like, this might be better than French Connection. I think it's very neck and neck.
I mean, there's definitely like a lot of different textures and feels to it with this.
But for this one, that's the way it keeps on going and going, where they keep on getting chased, and then they go to the train tracks, and then they like pretty much are racing against a train while there's other people behind them shooting at them and like trying to get at it. And then the way that it's like at the last second, just like go over the train where the train could have hit them if they were a second slower, and just like the way they get away from there. And then they're in like basically like the sewers of LA or whatever.
The famous like under the bridges thing. I don't know exactly. I'm not an LA guy, so I don't know exactly what it's called, but you've seen it in movies, you've seen it in
it's like Grease and shit like that.
Yeah. And
Terminator 2.
That's it. But yeah, they're in there, and just like I said before, I just love that Peterson is having the time of his life in this car. He's hooting and hollering. He's like
he's alive
in the moment.
Yeah,
he's alive.
Vukovic is where Vukovic is just freaking out. But yeah, I love the level of craft with this chase, because I feel like it's not storyboarded at all. I feel like it's just okay. They're just trying to figure this out with like the architecture of LA. Like the city of LA is I know it's kind of a wanky thing to say, but it feels like very much a character in this kind of chase itself.
Absolutely.
And it like the city kind of writes this car chase, if you know what I mean. I kind of love that opening, one of the moments where the car that the cops are in, they're going along, I guess what I would call a slip road onto the highway, and then it transitions through kind of the fencing, and you get the bad guy red car, the guys that are following them. I thought that was beautifully done. There's some really kind of like really nice fluid shots combined with like some really like gritty, massive long lens shots getting really tight in there. And it feels really dirty and grimy. And even like you're like POV you feel shots. There's like loads of amazing POV shots of that. There's just like a random sequence where they go through all these kind of lorries, and they're like shouting the lorry driver to just get the fuck out of the way so they can go.
I
thought they were gonna like drive under. You get that kind of classic thing where I thought they were gonna like drive under and the roof comes off or something stupid, but they don't. So it kind of has that kind of realism to it. But yeah, it just feels really rough and it feels like proper old school filmmaking. Like none of everything feels so real. And you're
it's
like
kinetic,
and you feel like they're making it as they go along. Okay, we can't go down this bit, so we'll just go around this bit, pay a load of money for a load of trucks. And of course you get the classic sequence where they knock over cardboard boxes. So you got to have that.
And also, I just love how like all of a sudden like there's one point where then like it feels like almost like hundreds of people coming out of guns. It's probably only like 5 or 6, but like it feels like so much where immediately these guys come out with these like snipers and start shooting at them. You're like, holy shit, how are these guys here now too?
Well, it's very much, and like we have no idea who. We can assume they are some other criminal enterprise in the city of LA, but I have no idea how these people, like, we are not informed into what they were doing, and we're not informed into anything
No.
else. And then we are informed that Chung, who died, was a FBI agent who died, and then nothing comes of it, really. Other than
No.
Vukovic's character telling the lawyer,
Yeah, Dean Stockwell. Yeah.
just being like, "What do I do here?" He's like, "Oh, you'll probably get 1.5 years in prison. Like, it's not going to be great." And a federal agent did die, and then we're like, "Oh, okay, wow, what's gonna happen here?"
Well, they mentioned that like all those people chasing him were like other FBI agents, pretty much just like chasing after them because they didn't realize because
Yeah.
they basically stole from the FBI themselves in a way.
Because it
They
doesn't
didn't
seem to
realize.
be an attempt from Vukovic or Chance that they try and kind of keep that quiet.
Mhm.
Like the film very much focuses on like still trying to get masters. So yeah, it does feel kind of very open, and it focuses more on Vukovic's panic with the attorney character.
Mhm.
With that aspect of the film. Yeah.
I am a star. I'm a star, I'm a star, I'm a star. I am a big, bright, shining star.
All right, who is the star of the show? Who gave the best performance here? I think we should probably talk about the performances overall, because I feel like the bulk of this podcast has been us trying to chase this frenetic energy that is captured on film, and it really hasn't led to too much of the performances here. But one of the reviews I read was about William Peterson's performance being stiff, for lack of a better term, and I wanted to get your feelings about his performance in this movie. Like, how did you guys feel he carried this movie?
I feel like he's a guy that's always like slightly on the edge, just trying to prove himself and trying to make him come off as more of a badass than he really is. Like he's like trying to like take advantage of the Ruth Lanier character, the blonde girl that he's like sleeping with and everything like that. And he like feels he loves that relationship because he has so much power over her. And that feels like the only way he can have real human connection is just like if he's like the one on top. And like that's why it's so great the interplay between him and Defoe, because basically two guys just trying to one up each other, and Defoe calls him on his bluff and everything like that, and he hates that. And when he gets fucking like fucked over by Turturro, he is so pissed off, and that's why he's doing so much posturing, so much peacocking, just to try and make him seem like bigger than he really is. And it's just the guy that like can't really accept the fact that he's not like the one on the top, and he can't take no.
Yeah, Michael Peterson definitely has like a
William Peterson. You said Michael Peterson.
yeah, William Peterson. Sorry, like
you pulled
No,
a
you're good,
classic. You pulled a classic, Tim. It's quite all right.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's great in it. There's definitely this quality that he has where he, as we've kind of said already, but like he has this kind of unhinged aspect of it, and that there's this thrill-seeking aspect of his acting that he definitely brings to his part. As I don't think, and again, it's more. You could argue he's kind of trying to like get revenge for his old partner because that's the only thing he's got left. Like there's this whole kind of thing that I read about this film that is kind of, it's all about vanity and how you kind of show yourself in this kind of glamorous city, and put yourself out there. And peacocking is definitely a great word to use, Tommy. And
Yeah.
you know, you definitely get a lot of that. But at the same time, like I didn't feel like an amazing amount of like he's really doing this for revenge. There's kind of this really kind of subtle thing that he does where he kind of balances this, like, I just want to do this out of revenge for my partner and because this is all I got, you know. And there's kind of the thrill seeking like tinges in there with his performance as well. So yeah, he's really great. But I think, you know, I think my favorite performance certainly would be Willem Dafoe. And I love that kind of first scene.
Agreed.
First scene with him where he's kind of, you get that sort of nihilistic quality from him right from the start, because he's like painted this portrait of himself, and then he immediately burns it. And you're like, okay, something is not right with this guy. So they're kind of very almost similar characters in that way. They want to kind of destroy their own vanity in a way, for their own goals. But they're very different characters as well. So
he's completely confident while Pearson is trying to portray confidence. He's trying to do too much, whereas Defoe is just totally in the pocket. I mentioned this earlier, but I just love this quote where he's talking to them, the guy at the sauna. He says, everybody knows Rick Masters won't go near a job without front money. You should also know that I never fucked a customer out of his front money. I've been coming to this gym 3 or 4 times a week for 5 years. I'm an easy man to find. My reputation speaks for itself. The fact is that if you can't come up with the front money, you're not for real. He immediately just calls him on their bluff. Just prove me wrong. Come on. You're not going to come in here and fuck me over. I know what I'm doing here.
Absolutely. And he was suspicious of these guys to begin with, and then I think it's kind of implied that the lawyer was setting them up. Even though he was talking with Vukovic and saying it's dangerous being in the Rick Masters game. I wouldn't mind getting out of it. Of course, now I couldn't be connected, but then it's implied in the burning of the warehouse scene that he fully knew what was going on, that these guys were undercover agents and they were ready and prepared for this. And
but what's great about Defoe's performance is that when he kind of does know, when you kind of get that sense, he's enjoying it as well. He's just Defoe's character is enjoying the thrill of all this as well as Chance as well. So because he kind of does this weird thing where he's kind of smelling the money and then laughing at them as well. There's that little scene he has there. Yeah, just an incredible kind of performance, and he has this kind of great, as we said, a great presence to Defoe's character, where he's always kind of the dominant character in every room he's in, with every scene. And yet he has kind of this insane unpredictability about him as well. You don't really know when he's going to decide to kick the shit out of someone or just strike a deal.
Because even
in
him
a very calm manner.
Even him, the Steve James character, the guy who he hires to take out Turturro in the prison, Steve James is slightly afraid of the guy. You can tell a little bit. He's acting cool, but underneath he's kind of realizing okay, I should be careful around this guy. I do also love Defoe's henchman, the guy Jack that gets shot in the end. He's just a really great little henchman performance right there. A little flavor. And yeah, but I think overall this is Defoe's show. Pearson is just really fun though. It's just like I said earlier, it's just him peacocking throughout the movie and it just makes it hilarious. Because the second he gets power over someone, he's so happy. The second he sees Turturro and he's like, I can get power over this person, or the Ruth Laner character, he's like, all right, now I can show some confidence.
Well, Chance and Masters kind of parallel each other. They're both thrill chasers. Defoe clearly knew that he was being set up, and he still went through with it anyway, because I think he gets so bored. He makes all these paintings, he's burning them. He's got an affinity for destruction. He's just I can get out of this. These guys are shit. I can get these guys. And for Chance's character, he's much more of a I need to get power over people, where Defoe just naturally has this power over people, and it's just an interesting correlation of our two main characters and what they're attempting to do and their similarities.
And yet, Defoe is barely doing anything. Mm-hmm. He just has to stand in a room, and
it's a quiet confidence.
And yet, William Peterson has to do so much to gain his own power over people.
He's almost like the small dog with the big bark kind of thing, where it's just like a chihuahua trying to bark over. Where it's just you need to, it's just so much just performance in there.
Absolutely.
Are you ready, comedy partner? Waka waka.
All right, fellas. does To Live and Die in L.A. work as a Muppet adaptation?
Absolutely, I'm saying.
You take cocaine and mix it with the Muppets, you got yourself a movie.
Yeah, I suppose you do. Feels like a little bit against the spirit of the Muppets, but I'm going to also guess there was somebody on the set of the Muppet Show that was probably on cocaine. I'm not. I'm just making blanket
Gonzo
accusations
definitely was
here.
ripping lines behind the scenes.
Oh yeah.
And
With that
Pepe
schnoz,
the
you better
Prawn.
believe it. Yeah. Yeah. So for me, I feel like you just make this a slapstick, right? Like, also, I'm just thinking of Friedkin and his like attempt at capturing realism. Like, I feel like across the 4 different Friedkin films we've covered, a consensus theme is like capturing this story, no matter how outlandish it is. Let's capture the realism of what these situations would feel like. Like let's create that anxiety. And I'm thinking, like, would his greatest challenge ever be trying to capture that feeling of anxiety and realism with the Muppets there?
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Well, I also think you keep Peterson as the one human, because I just imagine, like, I don't know, like Totoro ends up being like Gonzo maybe, and you have the scene where Peterson lets Gonzo loose, and then Gonzo just immediately starts stomping on Peterson's balls, which would be a great little visual gag right there.
I think you do have to keep Peterson in terms of like.
Because also you see Gonzo running away from Peterson on foot, just like ah.
I just
doing
think
the Muppet arm thing.
I just think the violence of Defoe, like going after Muppets and just like the fuzz coming out of the Muppets in these ultra violent kills, like, and I would just wish
gotta keep the headshots. Yeah,
a Billy Friedkin Muppet adaptation of any sort would like, I think would have broken his brain. Like, I don't, but like, I think it would have been like one of those great challenges for him where he's just like, I have to do this. I have to bring the Muppets into our world. They need to understand the graininess of what is going on. And then he just like loses his mind when it just like trying to conceptualize this and make it real. So that's my take. I just want to see some sort of Billy. Unfortunately, can no longer happen. R.I.P. Big Dog. But I would have loved to have seen Friedkin try to capture this mess and this energy and just bring it all together here.
My only reservation is just Muppet ass shots would put me off a lot, to be fair. So
I don't know if I want Muppet ass shots. That's why you also keep Peterson as the human, because you don't want to see a Muppet dick in there.
I think we can cut the nudity in the Muppet.
Muppet version.
Muppet. It does have to at least be PG-13, guys. Okay.
Fair.
All right, guys.
It's a lot shorter film, I guess.
You know what? You're cutting out at least 5 minutes. We'll be honest here.
Yeah.
Okay. Review time, guys. Give me your score to 5. Tommy, let's kick it over to you.
All right, so I watched this for the first time 2 months ago, and it felt like one of those movies you see, and you're like, why have I not been watching this for years? I'm totally on the wavelength of this movie. I mean, just like you have a Wang Chung 80s score going off and these dynamic car chases and like the reddest blood you ever seen. And like, it's just so much fun. I'm going to go 4.5 out of 5. I think this movie is just great vibes, just like really great like scenes back and forth, and just like the acting. William Peterson is hilarious in this movie, especially once like I picked up on him just peacocking over and over again on this watch, and just the dynamic between him and Defoe is fun, and just like you have great foot chases, great like car chases, and just like the plot's a little bit of a mess, but I don't mind because I'm all about the vibes, I'm all about the lighting, I'm all about the Wang Chung. So 4.5 out of 5 for me.
Martin?
I think I'll go like a solid 4. Again, like action wise, like it's really top notch from Friedkin. I would probably say it is his best car chase scene. Definitely the highlight of the film. Like the acting's great as well, and I just love this kind of unexpected quality of the film as well. You can't really see what's coming a lot of the time, and I was very shocked by the end as well. but then at the same time, like kind of that last scene kind of brings it down a little bit with kind of Vukovic's kind of turnaround.
Cosplaying.
Yeah. So that's the only. So I feel like if we had like a little bit of, I don't know, because then as we say that his kind of change is not a realistic one, but I kind of get why they were going down that angle. And it does kind of work in that aspect with the warehouse burning down. That was such a great visceral scene. So it's just, I wanted a little bit more from that character of how he's kind of changing into, William Peterson, I guess, but more of an insight into that guy's character. So yeah, a solid 4 for me. In terms of like ranking, like Friedkin, as I'm definitely with Tim, like Exorcist is right up there.
Yeah,
maybe like this one would be like 5th, 6th in my opinion, maybe.
I think I would tend to agree with you on that. I'm at a 3.5 out of 5. Like,
okay,
it's a delightfully fun mess, is what I would call this movie. And the peaks are peak, but then the moments where it's kind of slowing down and a mess, it kind of leaves you filling in the blanks, but not necessarily in the way that the great ones do, where it leaves you to your own devices. It feels a little bit more of like we forgot to put anything in here to explain to you what's going on. So because we were doing a bunch of lines while editing this movie, and you feel that
you can start this movie off your TV.
You can. That was a review of this movie that I saw, by the way.
Yeah.
That you can snort this movie off your TV. For me, where I'm like, screenplay is always like probably the one pillar that usually like can really indicate if a movie's going to be good or not. It's just a little all over the place, and but like it's really fun. Like you will have a good time watching this, and I enjoyed it. I just think it's very, very flawed.
Yeah,
and
I think a metric I quite like to use these days is like, because I rented it off Amazon, and I'm like, would I buy a physical copy of this? And I'm like, yeah, I think I would. I don't know whether I would go 4K, but I'll definitely at least get the Blu-ray for sure.
I think I get the 4K for this, just to hear that Wang Chung.
I think I would get it, but it would be more of a like, I found it used for $6.99. Like, I don't know if I'm paying $30 for this. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's just a distinction of that. That is a good metric to kind of like go on. Like, would you spend money on this again and buy it physically and have it occupy space in your residency? And for me, the answer is maybe, if I found the right deal on it, but I don't.
I mean, I can't judge too much. I mean, I do have Judgment Night on Blu-ray, as we've discussed.
That's a tough one. Yeah. Martin, I don't know if you're aware, but we covered Judgment Night for our soundtrack month, and it's probably my least favorite movie we've ever covered on this podcast. Right. I was angry.
And we bring it up like once a week now. Every recording
it gets brought up. It gets brought up, all the time. And Tommy was like, "Oh, it's great," and then I was like, my biggest issue is that we're covering soundtrack month. We're kicking it off with Judgment Night, and this soundtrack is not featured in the movie.
It's disappointing because it's like Pearl Jam mixed with like Cypress Hill and like these iconic 90s rock acts, like doing songs with iconic like 90s grunge acts, and then they just don't use it. It's like,
what? I've not seen it. I'm very intrigued to see it now. Wow.
You can skip it. I think it was
I
like
watch it with friends. I'd not watch it by yourself.
Tommy was also like talking about like the lighting of it, and like when you compare it to like the slop on Netflix and Amazon that's on digital, like the lighting looks really good, but it was just very standard 90s cinematography. Nothing stood out to me in this movie. It was a very angry movie. It was a very like, I hesitate to use the word toxic masculinity because I don't think that's exactly what it was, but it was just like angry and a boring action movie. And that is, for an action movie, that is quite literally the biggest sin you can commit.
Wow.
But okay, we're done rehashing. We're done rehashing. We're an hour and a half into this podcast. We're done rehashing it. The audience
That's
has
our
already
new-
turned this off. They're like, Jesus, Tim, stop.
That's one of our new weekly segments. Timmy bitches about Judgment Night again.
You brought it up. You brought it
Yeah,
up.
exactly. Yeah, I have to.
You set me up. You set me up there, Martin. Thank you for coming on, man. This was a fantastic time.
My pleasure.
Really, really great conversation. Film vs. Film podcast. It's on Apple, Spotify. Have you're on YouTube as well? Correct. Want to tell the people where they
just
can find
kind of
you? What you
audio
got coming up?
only. I mean, we got our Spielberg episode out right now, Spielberg Films 2. So that is E.T. versus the Fabelmans.
Ooh, very interesting.
Yeah.
That's an interesting debate there. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So kind of like personal Spielberg. We have done Spielberg in the past, which was Jaws versus Catch Me If You Can. We've done 2 Indiana Jones films that's not Raiders of the Lost Ark. Don't tell me why, but we haven't covered that yet.
Well, that's a hard one. That's a hard one
Yeah.
because like Raiders just like in the
It's gonna win. Yeah.
it's interesting. Like I think I think the clearest like I'm in my bag direction that Spielberg has ever done is The Last Crusade. It's like the epitome of a Spielberg movie, which is a good thing, but also like a bad thing. Like he's kind of missing that raw authenticity that some of his really great works have. But it's like this guy, he's just nailing everything, and
he's the master of the wanna and master of blocking, master of his craft for sure. We've also got our next episode in July. We'll have Christopher Nolan films 2, so that will be Interstellar versus The Prestige. We have covered The Prestige years ago, but we're doing it again. My guest picked that one, Heather Stewart. And I am picking Interstellar not because it's one of my favorite Nolan films, but because it's sort of an investigation pick of why the internet has crowned it like one of the best films ever made. And I don't have that same opinion.
I have noticed that.
I love it, but yeah.
I have noticed from people that who will watch movies casually, maybe once a week or something, maybe go to the movies once a month, if that, like, you know what I mean? Like less than once a month. We'll go for the bigger stuff. Like Interstellar seems to be their 2001 The Space Odyssey. Like it just holds that reputation, and I'm not trying to poo-poo them because that's their opinion. I really liked Interstellar when we covered it. I don't think it's Nolan's best. I personally think Oppenheimer is his best work by like a mile.
Yeah.
Like I think that is like a transcendent film, and and that's coming from me, who was 15 years old watching The Dark Knight in theaters, being like, "You can do this." You know, it's like it's one of those moments.
That was like an awakening moment for our generation. Where I was like, "Oh fuck!"
It was one of those. I'm going to be coming to these movie theaters for the rest of my life's movies. Kind of,
absolutely.
kind of a deal. I imagine it's like seeing
and
Back to
Mark,
the
I love
Future.
the Dark Knight.
And Martin, where can they find you on social media?
So I am at Film vs. Film podcast, Threads on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that jazz, everywhere pretty much. And we've got like doing a new kind of podcast series as well, called My Film versus My Inspiration. So I interview filmmakers about their films and the inspirations behind them. So kind of still, keeping in with my theme of the podcast, and we do spoiler specials. I don't know what the next spoiler special will be. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I mean, Tommy, you've been on a load of spoiler specials where we talk about terrible horror films.
I'm your go-to.
Apart from Sinners,
when you covered we covered Exorcist Believer on your podcast, and I was like, oh god, that was awful.
Yeah, and Scream 7 wasn't great.
That was bad too.
Yeah, that was tough.
And I'm hopefully at some point going to be starting a little kind of series where I just go through what I've been watching over the month. So just picking. So it's going to be called the top picks watch list. So I kind of just pick 3 things. Doesn't have to be films. It can be TV as well. My partner picks 3 films and TV as well. We just talk about what we've been watching, basically. So kind of a way to just kind of bring in like more recent watches. So sort
Yes.
of like mini reviews. So yeah, there's lots coming my way. So do check us out.
Most definitely. Tommy, any final thoughts before we wrap up this episode?
Well, real quick, just on To Live and Die in LA, I just found out that the producer of this movie, Irv Levin, was the owner of the Boston Celtics. Just random fucking fact. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. You can find us on social media. That's at CNETPod. That's on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We're also on Bluesky at podcnet.bluesky.social. You can also find us on YouTube. And leave us a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Helps us out. Helps us grow the show. We have a quick sponsor to mention, and that is Old Glory. OldGlory.com is iconic music and sports fan merch. Tim and I's New York Knicks are in the NBA Finals. Game 5's tonight. Hopefully they win. We'll find out by the time this recording drops. And you can also get like Big Lebowski, Back to the Future, any sports team you can think of. Really great stuff. You can get 15% off at checkout using the promo code CNET, like the way we spelled on our podcast at checkout. Again, oldglory.com, use the promo code CNET for 15% off. And we're continuing our LA month. Next week, we are doing LA Confidential. Never seen it before. Big one for me to see. So, gonna be a good one.
Very nice. And thank you all so much for listening. Thank you, Martin,
you.
for joining us here.
Thank you.
We will see you next time.